And we're back. And today we have Mr. Jeramy Karshner in the house. Jeramy, welcome to the show. We've seen you. You've been a busy man, since 22.
Yeah,
Tell us about the journey here.
It's been a great journey. A lot of good people behind me. You put the right people with you, and you continue to work. Good things come and good things happen, and I feel like that's what I did. So I was able to make a better transition to finish my run.
So this last fight in particular was a really meaningful one to you both professionally and personally. Rematch with Alex Davis. You ran through him in the first one. This second one, it was a completely different fight, and we saw a completely different Jeramy Karshner. Talk us through what that fight meant to you. Talk us through why you fought like you did. Talk us through every bit of it, because I think a lot of people missed. You had a really meaningful post-fight speech, and for people who missed it, I'd like you to share, some of your thoughts about that fight.
Well, coming into the camp, unfortunate. I had a injury that occurred during some extracurricular bedroom activities. So I pretty well messed my foot up pretty good during that. So the first 5 weeks, I couldn't put a lot of pressure on my foot. Couldn't run, couldn't do anything. I took a cortisone shot to it. I was sparring, trying to get my shoes on. I was having people help me get my shoe on. Jessica would have to help me get my shoe on and off at times to be able to go in and spar. I wouldn't tie my shoes. So I knew, the big knock on me has been the fact that my people think I come out and blow my load, so they got to weather my storm. I felt like in my head, I felt like that was going to be his strategy. So kind of really the injury probably was a blessing, because it slowed me down to realize, all right, I'm not going to come out here and I'm not going to throw no bombs. I'm going to come out here and work. I'm going to methodically just work. And I was okay with to take a decision. And Alex fought a good fight. Nothing against him. He did a good job and made some changes. But I just felt like I was going to be faster. I'd be able to touch him. And I felt like it's okay to go out and take a decision. It's okay to go out and, as some people say, slow walk it.
Is that something you've always been hesitant to do? Because I can tell by the type of fighter you are, you're always looking for that kill shot. You're always looking for the finish. I know you started in MMA as well, so I would say you were the same way then. You were a finisher. You told me in the post-fight interview, you said, I've never went the distance in a fight and won it. You were real proud of that. It was this fight it was a new thing for you. You said you went out there and boxed for the first time. You feel like you turned a corner there?
Yeah, I had went out before and tried to just box, and I felt like one of them could have been a draw, and I felt like I won every round, but maybe one on another. And they gave me 0 across the board on any of my rounds, which was just like the biggest slap in the face. I could take a loss, but don't tell me I didn't win any of the rounds. Yeah. And when you go back, you're like, I'm going to go back to what I do and try to finish people. And but over the time, I feel like when you do those things and you go out and try to make a statement and win off of points, you got to make sure it's decisive. There's no question in anyone's mind you're gonna have to out-touch them.
Yeah.
So you went out there and did that against Alex Davis. I think you won every round very decisively, and now you got your next big battle. You've been on this incredible journey, going from 0-6. Now you're 6-6.
7-6 now.
7-6. So you actually now you're looking for that 8th win against Justin Richwine, who's a dude you're very familiar with. You were scheduled against him not long ago. Dealt with that shoulder injury, had to pull out of that fight, and I'm sure that pissed you off because you're a guy you don't like pulling out of fights.
No, sometimes you have to be.
Uh-oh.
Able to know that it's not the time to go and ready. So looking at Justin does a really good job after he gets tagged. If you watch any of his fights, as soon as he gets hit, he fires back. So he's coming to fight, no matter if he gets hit or not. So he's going to fire back. So, it's going to be a hard test. So I put a lot of work into this fight, more than probably going back to my days of fighting at 170, 168, where I was running a ton of miles and doing a lot of training. I think I put in maybe just 85 rounds this week sparring, to go out, and I'm planning to go out and have to go the distance with him. I don't plan to finish him, and I plan for me and him to have a full fight.
And so I guess it's the respect for Richwine. You've seen all of his fights. You know him. You guys are, both from Ohio, and you've kind of ran into each other on the circuit for a long time. I feel like you probably knew you'd eventually run into him. You guys would eventually have to fight. So does this feel like the most important pro fight you've had so far?
Yeah, I guess as you go, every fight you get is just as important as the last. I don't know if this is any more important than any other, as much as just never looking over anyone. I feel like everybody looks over everyone, and everyone's always looking and downgrading other fighters rather than preparing and being. I'm expecting him to be the best Justin that's came out ever, and that's what I got to do. I got to come out and be the best Jeramy that's ever fought. So, yes, it's a big one. I don't know if it's any bigger than any others, because I believe they're all the same.
Now, moving forward, hate to talk about looking past Justin, but we could potentially see these guys matched up again months from now, as both men are entered into the kickboxing Grand Prix. And so this is something Jeremy's trained kickboxing for a long time. I've heard probably a better kickboxer than he is a boxer, because he's got some nasty kicks. So he's gonna be making his pro kickboxing debut in a 16-man heavyweight Grand Prix. So what do you think? What are you thinking about this tournament?
As far as thinking about a lot of it, I'm excited because I'm excited to kickbox. I'm trying not to think too much about it till we get through this matchup that we have coming up now. So I'm trying not to think too much on it, but I'm super excited. I haven't been able to throw my kicks in a long time. They're probably my favorite thing to do is to try to take someone's legs out. I do not kick you to touch you. I try to kick you to hurt you.
Bad intentions on this.
And this is news to me. I actually didn't know that you'd signed up for the Grand Prix. I'm excited. I'll tell you that much.
I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if I'm happy to start getting kicked again. My legs aren't going to be thrilled about that.
Well, I've always wondered, because, we've talked a lot about your start in MMA, and I always wondered if I'd ever get to see you compete in anything but boxing. So I'm definitely over the moon, and I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. You're somebody that people need to keep their eye on.
Well, I hope so. I looked at the list. So I've heard of some of the guys that's going to be on there, and it's a stacked event. There's not going to be any easy fights. You're not going to get any give me's, which makes it that much more exciting to do.
So right now we've got 12 guys in the tournament and one guy who's a maybe, depending on his contract with the organization he's at now. But we've got Jeramy Karshner and Justin Richwine both in it. We've got Matt Garrettson, Terry Henry, who is from, I believe, Portsmouth, I believe. Then we have Billy Poe, Mike Jones, Stephen McBride, Quentin Campbell, Stanley Tippins. I believe Stanley's from Alabama. Corey Stewart from Kentucky. Marcus Mays, who's a 6-0 amateur MMA fighter and also undefeated kickboxer, and big guy, and highly skilled as well. And then another guy from down south, Jawaski Bethley. We've got those 12, and then we've got another one. I've got him on the alternate list, kind of waiting to see. He's signed with BKFC right now. Matt Adams has threw his name into the hat, and but we just got to see what's up with this BKFC schedule. So that's the roster, 13 guys. We're looking to build up to 16 for the tournament and have a few alternates in case something happens, because we're going to go through the tournament fast. You're going to fight one time on the event, and then the next round is going to be within a month or two. So and we're going to try to finish it all up by November, December. So 4 rounds, and I'm pumped, man. I mean, I'm pumped for that one.
That's going to be a good event. I appreciate you putting that on. I know a lot of those things don't come around. I've been around for 14, 15 years fighting, and none of that stuff's ever came around this area. And I feel like that's why people don't really kickbox much, because
Right.
you're in a fight.
Yeah.
It's
not
strange.
been a thing. Yeah.
The last interview we did, we were talking to Preston Dyer. He was saying the same thing. He's always loved kickboxing. You're a guy who loves to kick. There's just nowhere to do it. There's nowhere to succeed around here as far as kickboxing.
Yeah. And then even if you go get a good record, where you go get paid at for all your time? And let's just face it, if you really want to make any money, it's in boxing. People, I wish I loved MMA, and I love MMA, and it's my favorite, but there's no money in it. It's just a passion, in my opinion.
If I'm not mistaken, the entry level pay at UFC is $12,000 for a fight, and that's it. And you're going to be fighting somebody that's at the highest level of sport, like somebody. It doesn't matter what weight class you're in. I mean, at the lowest level of UFC, you're probably fighting a top 100 ranked fighter in the world for $12,000.
I trained with I've trained with a lot of UFC vets, and 2 of them were my former coaches, and they were amazing. And to know what they did to me when we go in there and how bad they'd whoop the dog shit out of me, and then to see them go out and lose for the low amount of money they go lose for, it was just like an eye opener.
Yeah, I remember seeing payouts on those older UFC cards, and you would see guys making $400, $500 on the undercard, but I believe it's like 12,000 is their minimum pay now, but still $12,000 you can make that in a boxing match on some random card in Florida or wherever. So fighting a guy who's not highly ranked at all.
And it's interesting you say that. It makes me wonder, is that why you transitioned into boxing? Was that the sole reason?
No, I was training for MMA fights, and at that time the commissioner in Ohio was so stringent on everybody. People were falling out of the promoting, and they just weren't promoting as much, and there just wasn't as many fights. And someone came to me, I don't think I had but maybe a 5-day notice to get ready for a boxing fight on the Saturday, and I was like, well, yeah, we'll try it. And then I got a couple calls out, off the couch that was really good pay. And at that time I was like, yeah, let's go take it, because I was tired of training and never getting a fight.
Yeah.
So and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to transition over and stay over.
So tell me this. I've got one big question for you before we go. Before you hang it all up and decide to trade in the gloves for a rocking chair, you think that we're ever going to see you in MMA?
I'm hoping that we get one MMA fight. That's what I want. I want one MMA fight. That was my goal whenever I first originally came back, before I started really pushing to finish out my boxing. Was I want to fight one more MMA fight. And I was like, I just want to go out and utilize my wrestling, my striking, and then, put it all together. And but I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'll go into the gym, and I've been giving some of those guys that's getting ready for a fight on your card, I've given a guy some rounds striking and wrestling, and when I get home I think, oh my God, who can do this all the time?
In my experience, being 40 years old, 41 years old, it's I don't think at this age you could really do both. I don't think you can bounce back and forth between boxing and kickboxing. If I spend months only working on my boxing, my hands start feeling good, shoulders start feeling good, but one day of grappling, it's just like people pulling on my arms and stuff. One day of grappling, like I can't throw a punch for months. So
I'm not even gonna lie to you. The last time I trained really hard in MMA, I got to the car and I had to have Jessica open my car doors because I couldn't even get my shoulders up.
Yeah. When you're
Like,
25 years old, that's nothing. But like, when you hit your 40s, 30, upper 30s and your 40s, it's these old, you got all these old injuries, man. It's just such a weird thing. I mean, just one guy can just like, it doesn't even have to like go hard. One guy just threatens with a shoulder lock. Like you're down for, you're down for a month. I mean, not that you can still come back and grapple the next day, but you'll feel it when you start trying to go back to boxing. You're like, dude, my hands are slower. My shoulders are hurting to throw these punches. It's a weird thing because that really kind of killed me back in 22. I was trying to do my little boxing comeback, and then I started training some grappling as well. And then the grappling really derailed my boxing, just because I had a really hard time. I mean, just hitting a heavy bag after that.
I'm going to have to know that I'm done boxing probably before I say, all right, I'm going to take an MMA fight, knowing I'm going to give my
Uh-oh. He's driving through a dead spot. Here in a second, he's going to talk a million miles an hour, though. It's gonna any second now. Here comes
body effort for that last fight.
Oh, it didn't do it. He's back. Okay.
Yeah, we lost you for a second there.
Oh, okay, we lost him again.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
there
sir.
he is. There he is.
So, last thing you just said, give it to us one more time.
So, whenever I do my MMA fight, I'll have to know that I'm done boxing so I can give my last bit of effort to my body to be able to finish and do one MMA fight. That's when I'll know. That's when you see me come onto a card that's MMA, you're probably going to know I'm done boxing because I'm going to put everything into that last 3-4 month camp to try to come out and look good. And no matter what happens, just know I'm done.
Well, I hope that when that time comes, you're going to be doing it at New Line because I want to call your MMA fight.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't picture it being anywhere else. No one else is as easy and as good to work with as you guys. I really believe people make this game way too hard. And, not only that, it's just I'm comfortable with you guys. Keith would, he'll work hard to find me a matchup and do what's right for me. And, that's where I want to try to finish it out for the MMA wise. Boxing wise, I do hope to make a huge card somewhere.
Yeah.
And call it quits.
So we're looking, Jeremy, we've been looking at the date. We're looking at March 18th, the year 2046. So that gives him another 22 years of just boxing before we explore that MMA fight.
Yep. So in 2046, we'll see that MMA fight. You'll be 120 years old.
I don't know if he heard any of that.
Let me know. If I'm still alive, I'm pretty good about that. Can you hear me?
I think we're going to start to an elderly division. I've been talking to Keith about it. So maybe you could just transition into that. Yeah. We'll do like a senior citizens division. Bobby Johnson's ready to go. Jeremy's right behind him.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that as long as we get the older guys so I can whip the shit out of them.
Oh man. Yeah, Jeremy's been fighting all these guys that are probably not much older than his kids. Guys are getting tired of fighting these 25-year-olds, right?
Yeah. I need some older guys. Can't we go find some old man for me to fight?
It's weird. It's weird that us old guys, we can still beat those guys up in a fight, but like we couldn't hang with them on a basketball court.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to run down the basketball.
No. Well, I think that's it for me. Jeremy, you got anything to say to the people before this fight?
Apparently not.
I appreciate Chad Van Sickle, Jerry Page, Brian DeLeon, Jessica. She's always sticking by me, even when I'm fucking up and doing dumb shit. She still tries to keep me in line. My kids, Brandon Conley's crew and Matt Chris have been really great with helping me get ready for this fight. Easier as always, man. My one good spar me 12, 14 rounds. Doesn't matter. Show up and work boots dirty. It doesn't matter. And I can't, those kind of people, you can't thank them enough, because without them, I wouldn't be able to be successful.
Mr. Brandon Conley made it to the BKFC. Gonna see him. Was it March? I don't remember the date, but Brandon Conley is gonna be fighting BKFC next month.
I'm really excited to see Conley.
I do have a request, though. Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
Request. All right. That's when you know shit's getting serious. All right, boys. So me and Chad Van Sickle, all right, we want to do a grudge match. I don't know how we're gonna have to. You guys are gonna have to work this up. How you're gonna have to draw it up, but we want to do it in the cage, and we want our fucking opponents to be Joey Studer and the teddy bear, and I'm going to fucking mop the floor, boys. You guys you guys get to see the nice Jeremy. You go get to see the fucking flip switch. And then Chad Van Sickle is going to come in right behind me, and we're going to take care of business. So let's see if we can get us a grudge match, boys.
2-on-2?
We can do it.
Yep, 2-on-2.
I think it would have to be a pugil stick fight. I don't know if we can do that with MMA.
I don't care if it's a trampoline kickboxing fight.
I think that we should make them do sumo. 2-on-2 sumo.
2-on-2 sumo.
Hey, I don't even care. We'll go ahead and you guys think it up and find a way that we can hit that in. And
I would have said Turkish oil wrestling, but I know Joey Studer's really good at that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't care what it is. So go ahead and find out. You guys think up whatever it is. Mud wrestling, Jello fight. I don't even care. I'm not gonna lose, so it ain't gonna matter.
I think pugil stick fight, if you know what that is. So
I'll have to Google it.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, it's full contact. It's full contact.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the way to go. All right.
I think we got to make this.
You guys enjoy the volleyball tournament today. It was good talking to you, my friend. And look forward to seeing you compete next month.
All right. Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate everything, Keith.
Yep. All right. Thanks for coming on. Thanks everybody for watching. March 9th, Karshner versus Richwine. It's happening.
For your winner, unanimous winner, boxing, out of the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your champion, Jeramy Karshner. My friend, absolutely hell of a performance. It's great to see you back. You're coming off an injury. I want you to talk me through it. Alex was a very tough guy in this one. Came back looking a lot stronger than he did in the first bout. So talk us through it.
You know, coming into this, I've been working with Jerry Page. He tried to eliminate my brawling. We wanted to come out here and go the distance, and we wanted to work on things. I didn't do it all right. I got a lot to learn. I got a lot to learn as a man. I got a lot to learn in the cage. It's evolving. I knew I was winning because I could pick him apart. Hats off to him. He came in a gamer and we went, but I didn't let myself get crazy, and I boxed. And I probably will go ahead and make that the last time I boxed. I don't like going all those rounds.
You know, that's something we've talked about in the past. You know, early in your career, you had a tendency to come out like a house on fire and gas. How does it feel to get a victory like this, going the distance, fighting the fight you wanted to fight, being smart?
Man, at 40 years old, to know I was able to turn everything around. What you guys don't know is I went 0-6 as a pro boxer. 5 of those fights I took on 2 days' notice and never lost the first round. But boy, when that gas tank went, it got ugly quick.
So what does it mean for you? You say you've got a lot to learn as a man. What's it mean for you as a man, as a father, to turn everything around like this, to go on this journey? Now you're 7 fights in, 7-fight win streak. Now you're 7-6.
You know, I'm upset that it's not 7 knockouts like it was prior to this, but, you know, I'm going to take it. You know, as a man, I've been making a lot of mistakes. I own a business, and I made some horrible business decisions, and that rubbed off on my family, my significant other, and I don't ever want to be like that. And, you know, I took this fight to try to get my head back right, and it was hard. It was probably the hardest camp. I came off an injury, and then emotionally and mentally, I was checked out. So to come in here and gut it out for 6 rounds, I can't thank it enough. And for all of you guys that don't know from down here, Jerry Page, the one helped him turn me around with Brian De Leon and Alfred Leisure. That's the 1983 gold medalist for America in boxing. He was able to turn me around and make me a boxer in 5 months.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Olympic gold medalist Jerry Page. And give it up for your champion, Jeramy Karshner, one of the most admirable men I know.
And thank you. I hope to see everybody again. I was going to come in here and ask for a mega fight, but with all the personal stuff going on, I'm just going to ask for it quietly and let you guys go do it rather than out loud, because I'm going to change my ways, and that's going to be the first thing I'm going to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the champ.